Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic and this is another reaction. It is for Bakemonogatari. You know what to do, as always. If you want to see the episode itself, just go down into my descriptions and follow the link, replace the circumflex dot parts with real dots and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear out my thoughts about this episode. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. So, new story arc. This question is answered. So let's see what all of this is about now. I'm not sure. It might be really going into a story arc that the problem is reappearing, or it might be that we just, get background information. But I'm pretty sure, seeing that the headache is back, we will have the cat appear again, and we will need to find a permanent solution for it instead of just biting her. So we are finally facing who Hanekaba is and her background story, which is a sad one, which is not a nice one. So if I got that correctly, her father remarried, her mother remarried. Well, the question is in which direction it was. So it was her father's second wife. Then they split and the second wife got another husband. So both of her parents right now are not her real parents anymore. So she's not blood related to any of those, which is sad. And it seems there's a lot of problems in the family, a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. So troubling. The parents even thought about sending her away, so into an orphanage, just to get rid of her, in her opinion. I mean, she was a child when she heard it. So, question is how much of it is as harsh as she perceived it, but just that they talked about it shows us there's a lot of problems. So, yeah, no question she wants to just go away. I mean, I remember that in one of the other episodes she talked about that she wanted to go on traveling, to visit the world, to, see the world. Question is how much of this is really to see the world and how much of this is a running away from home thing. She has a scratch on her face because she was hit by her father. And what, in my opinion, what you can see there when they talked about it is one of those things perceived as typical for domestic violence. The fact that those who got hit in many cases even try to defend the attacker, to keep together the family. They are like, there is this fear, if I report this person, if I say what happened, then our family will be destroyed, we will be split up, and I will be completely lonely. So it is this fear that keeps them together, and it's those sentences, even what she said, it's just this one time. It's not so important, and he had reasons. That's a very typical thing, and to say yes, but he had reasons. So Aragi is on the side of there's no reason for violence. I can see that one. So it seemed to start as a typical domestic violence thing here. And yeah, I would like to go with that. But I'm not sure if that is all. When we saw the intro of her, there was one sentence in that stuck with me. That was so that she's waiting all the time, and just like I did at that day. So maybe there's a background story. Maybe something happened in the past. She's afraid that she's turning into a demon was in her intro as well, which we know now is kind of true. She turned into a cat. And I'm not as good as you think I am. That might go into two directions. That might be that she really is not as good in maybe at home. Maybe she is more of a brat, although I don't think so. Or it is about that she's really, in her inner self, insecure by everything. She has this stress. She can't cope with it. She can't let it out. It is. I mean, we all have kind of stress, but it is a typical thing There are people who are able to release the stress by doing sports, by socializing, by punching at a punching bag, stuff, whatever. And then there are those who just seem to be able to swallow it. There are those people where you think like, wow, they it doesn't matter what's happening, they're keeping their cool. But do not underestimate what's happening inside. So it might very well be that it is brewing there, it's filling up. I like to always say people are like a bucket, and every time they get stress, they get problems, you put in a little bit of water, depending on how much stress and everything it is. So from the outside, when you're just standing below the bucket and you're watching up, it looks as though they are keeping their cool, nothing is happening. But on the inside, it is filling. And once there's this moment when this last drop hits, and there is this physics will know what I mean. Water clinges to each other, so it even is able to build like a bulb on top. And when the last drop is in, it just smashes all out. It just breaks, or in this case, even the bucket would maybe completely shatter. And then the reaction is harsher than it would be normally for just this one drop. So I've encountered stuff like that, people swallow their problems all the time, and then just the last one who did anything to them. It might be just a simple word, a rolling of an eye, whatever, stuff like, yeah, for sure. Stuff like that. Just he or she says something and you're like, yeah, for sure, but I don't think so. And then this person just goes nuts. And you're like, what the heck just happened? Man, I just said I don't think so. Why are you attacking me, This is the moment. People have an amount of stress. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. And I think Hanekawa is someone who is very good at keeping her stress inside, not showing it to the outside world, but then once in a while there will be this problem when she's exploding. So people in our lives, when they explode, we see it, they are, going crazy, smashing stuff, shouting at everyone, I don't know, stuff like that. In her case, she turns into a cat and then goes crazy in a, well, even worse way maybe. So I can relate to the storyline. I like it. It's an interesting one. So it is in the Golden Week. Some of you already tried to explain to me how this trimester in Japan works, so that there are like specific time frames, specific dates. The Golden Week is an important one. So they are having time off right now, which is why he's not learning. And she's walking the street, which is sad, because it means for her, I have no school today, which means I will have to stay at home all day. I will have to see my parents all day. I don't want to, so I go walking. That shows you already a lot. There's this family is already struggling a lot. So that's why they are walking around, and they see this cat on the street. So not that much of a surprise. She gets drawn to cats when you see her background. There was one more thing in the intro where I'm not sure about what it is. So we had this triangles all the time. I'm waiting for if there's something in the storyline for that. It might relate to very many things. It is a triangle in the family, mother, father, daughter. It is a triangle of Araragi, Senjugahara, and her in some way, But it might be a lot different, a lot of other stuff as well. So waiting if this one gets more defined in the future episodes. And then we had him talking with Sengoku Nadeko, the snake girl, who gave him the bathing suit and everything to bring it back to Kambora. And he's just holding it all the time. The inner creep, even while he's talking later on to Hanekawa, he's still holding it in his hands, putting it behind his neck, everything like that. That's just creepy. No question there. So, I don't know. That was strange, to say at least. she is she wanted to say thank you, and she wanted to do it to Kambaru as well, but she's too fast. So he took it on him to tell Kambaru and bring the swimwear to her. So that was in a just being polite way. In this moment, he had no creepy thoughts about it until she gave it to him, and then it was like, oh my god, I'm having a girl's swimwear in my hand. Yeah, okay. However, there was this scene which we have here. I am not sure what this is about. There's a moment when he was acting strangely. I'm not sure if it was about the shadow or if it was about anything else at all. I really have no clue what it is, if this is an important one or if it is just creepiness here. Fact is, he even stated that she is kind of playing with his emotions. So he's kind of making the mistake that he got her her jokes, her nerd ways, because she's referring to a specific series, to a specific movie and everything, and he understands these jokes, which is, you have common ground, which is nice to have, which would be a start for more than just talking, you know? You could go on into a friendship from there, you could go on into maybe a relationship from there. It is this, you have some common ground. It's always a positive thing, and at least he realizes it now. And she likes it in him, so we know that she likes him from the past. So she realizes, you're still the nice one, you're still someone I would like to spend more time with. We started this the last episode. He really has to watch out what he's doing, how he's reacting, and to put up walls and borders. So I think he is starting to realize it, and he tries it. So the realize was the fact, you're playing with my heart, with my emotion, and realizing the fact that shouldn't be happening. Then Hanekawa came along, and she just ran away. And that's interesting to me, because she said before that she can, just by looking at people, kind of sense a little bit about them, how they behave, how they are. I mean, we all kind of judge people on first view, and when they act, we put them into some places, like where we think it's a good guy, it's a bad guy, it's a creep, it's just a jolly person, you know. We put them into specific places so that we can work with them in our mind. So she stated that about more neither everyone, but it was especially about Shinobu, the girl, that she thought she looked different at women, or at least at the two women that were there at this time. There might be multiple reasons. I mean, we have seen in the outro that Shinobu is in the middle between Oshinomeme and Araragi-kun, holding their hands. So it looked a little bit like a family picture, you know, in the shadows there. So maybe she thinks of those two as like her parents. Everyone else is not her parents, so she looks different at them. Makes sense. Yes, both of them are male and the girls were female, but I'm not sure if that is the reason. And then, seeing that more neither every girl goes into kind of liking Araragi, it might be the just the look of, take your hands away from my man, from my big brother, from my, I don't know what she looks at him like. So that Hanekawa appeared. She looked at her for like a split second, turned beet red, and ran away. And in my opinion, that was more like she was like she saw someone doing things she shouldn't be seeing by her age. I'm just searching for the right word. So it was more neither like she just watched them having sex, you know? So that was more neither the reaction. So one might guess that she sensed that Hanekawa has some kind of, a lot of deeper feelings for Aragi maybe. Or she saw something else. I have no clue. We will see. However, this shadow scene here, maybe we will learn more. So, Hanekawa finally appeared, and well, in the end, we learned more about the background now. The headache, which we had already before, where I guessed it might have had something to do with the story about the snake, is instead the inner self of her, the black inner self of her, the cat, trying to go outside. It's the stress evolving, it's the stress growing and growing, and thus possibly the cat forming again. So it might as well be, although it is possibly just the stress, it might as well be the fact that she completely forgot about what happened in the past. Which makes sense. You wouldn't want to remember that you kind of nearly killed people, especially your parents. So when that happened, Aragi, remembered, hey, we had that in the past already. I know about that. It is maybe that the cat is coming back. So he gave us finally the background information of what happened with the two of them in the past. When she reaches like a maximum amount of stress, she turns into a metal cat, a silver cat, or black Hanekawa. So all is valid. Her inner president, by the way, the inner self, the cat, is aware of the fact that she's not the main one, which I like. So we had it when the cat was talking to Aragi, that she has to drain energy until it is enough to relieve the stress, to have the stress of 0 for the main master, for the master of this body, which is Hanekawa. So the cat is aware that she is a secondary character. Nice one. So she turned into the cat, ran around, jumped all over the roofs and everything. I like that. And then attacked people to drain the energy. And the first two to attack, not so much of a surprise, were her parents. Only question there, the real parents by blood, or the real parents who are now the one raising her. I'm not sure about that one. But seeing it is in this city, I guess it is possibly the ones raising her now. So those were, well, not injured in this way, but they were drained so much that they had to be hospitalized. And she was, we had a picture of her standing in front of those beds, and well, she didn't look unhappy, you know. So what to do about that? It seems Oshinomeme has an idea how to solve it. I'm not sure if the fact that Shinobu appeared later was this idea of it, or if it was something else. However, Aragi lured her into a street, into a closed alley, and then Shinobu attacked her from behind. So I guess it was maybe the idea, but it doesn't seem to be a permanent solution. So thus Shinobu, being a vampire, drains energy as well, although more physically. She drained the stress out of her, more or neither, and the cat disappeared. Interesting idea. Yes, possibly you could do it again, if it happens now again. But it is not a permanent solution now, it seems, because the stress is back. So it will be back every, year? Every 2 years. You cannot drain her all the time. That's not the way it works. There should be something different. For normal humans, where you don't turn into a cat or stuff like that, I would so go into therapy, talk to people. Maybe talk to people about your family problems, and maybe leave your family home. But those are maybes, but at least go to a therapy. Here, well, if you go to a therapist and you say, and when my stress is at maximum, I turn into a cat. They will go, oh yes, nice. Okay, take those pills. Because, nope, that's not normal, man. So, question is what now? Will she turn or not? I mean, she hasn't yet. So I think it is about her being close to turn into the cat again. And I would like it if the next episode or two, I think there will be 2 more, would go into a way of that he is searching for a way to solve it, and others maybe as well, without going into the supernatural, you know? Just in normal ways. Talking to her, helping her, talking to the family maybe, stuff like that. So if a life burden is lessened, then the stress will go away in time by itself maybe. Hopefully. Would be a solution. And it would be something different. But I guess we will see a cat soon. So the one thing he said in the end was, I'm sorry to making you worried. So he is aware of the fact that his small problems that he has in his personal life with Senjugahara and all the other girls is adding to the stress of Hanekawa. Which is true. It's not on a big amount, it's just small stuff, you know? But she's trying to help him all the time, quite often in the past. Giving him ideas what to do, helping him with studying. So it is, if you are having problems yourself and then you are helping others, this is time and energy you take from yourself. There's no question. So it helps you a little bit because the feeling of helping someone else is a good thing. But if you get too much of the problems of others, you start to think about those as well. So I like the fact that he's apologizing for that. He is aware of more than he was in the past, in my opinion. I like it. So maybe it's the start of us seeing him at least a little bit evolving in realizing what's going on in his surrounding. Yeah, that's it. And we had a new outro, at least a small part, and we had stars. I guess we did not have the stars before in the outro, right? Or maybe I just missed them all the time. However, that was a nice one. I like it. I guess, as I said, 2 more episodes possibly for this arc, because we just got the background now, but it hasn't started yet. The main problem. I guess possibly if there is something to happen, it will be in the next episode, and we will need another one to solve it. So that's my guess, and it is about cats. So this is it from me for this time. I hope you enjoyed. I did for sure. As always, please feel free to comment, to like, and to subscribe, and I will see you soon on the next episode. Until then, my name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.